Hi, mystery resurfaced here. Today, I'm going to explain a short movie Curve released in the year 2021. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Toward the start of the film, we are shown a clip of a woman lying unaware someplace on a solid floor. She has a bloodied finger and her shoes are red in dried blood. But still, she looks to be genuinely unharmed. Thinking of her as in this situation, following this, we are shown the clips of high waves colliding with the shore. The collide makes an unnerving thundering sound that vibrates through the place the woman is in. The sound rings in her ears, and in the end awakens her from her unaware state. As she wakes from the start, she sees only concrete structures. Confused, she moves for the first time and ends up in the most over-the-top awful position she might actually be in. The woman is on the edge of a curved design at an incredible height. Beneath the construction is a dull finish of nothingness. Death is confirmed as she takes one more wrong action and tumbles off the edge. Moreover, the position she's in doesn't help her situation. Her left leg is collapsed under her body with no real way to bring it out. When the woman first sees the edge, she gets scared as expected. She attempts to withdraw. In any case, the action just slides her further underneath. Luckily for her, she doesn't tumble off right now. However, it is really clear that it's inevitable. The slide makes her left leg move upwards, harming her incredibly. Likewise, her palms are scratched on because of the harsh and tough concrete. Her breath ascends as she quietly prays for her life. Despite the fact that the possibilities of her survival are nothing. Following that, we see a full perspective on the design she's caught in. What's more, it looks like a hydropower plant. However, if she figures out how to get away from the edge, the upstanding wall behind her will not allow her to get away. But the wall is insignificant right now as she blames for what is going on. She hears a noisy horn, blows from the void beneath. The sound surprises her and makes the fall even more shocking. She thinks briefly and realizes that the sound should be a direct result of the breeze. It helps her calm down, until a stronger thunder is heard seconds after the fact. The woman takes a look at the sky in dissatisfaction and lets out a shout. A couple of moments later, everything goes dead quiet. The main thing she hears is her fast breathing and the contemplations in her mind advising her to survive for sure. She realizes that remaining actually will ultimately kill her. She also realizes that moving could kill her immediately. However, she will face the challenge after a couple of long gasps to quiet herself down. She puts her hands and right legs sturdily on the concrete and attempts to turn herself around. The attempt misfires when she slides further down and is currently on the outright edge of the curve. She holds herself down attempting to avoid panicking. A couple of moments in, she at long last realizes that she needs to stop attempting to fix her leg. The main way for her to move away from the edge is to pull herself up in the same position she's in, but the slide has made her multiple times more fragile. Her palms are currently bleeding continuously after being scratched. She holds her right hand up and separates two fingers stained along with blood. Following that, she dries up the blood in her coat, so her palm wouldn't slide when she tries to go up once more. Even the action involved with drying is more difficult, but she bears it courageously. Following that, she blows on the injuries, yearning for a little bit of relief. Her blows are frail since she's unfortunate of making some unacceptable action that will push her down to her death. Subsequent to mulling over the following move for a lot of time, she at last puts her healthy leg up. Her bloodied palms push the concrete bend down as she rises her body in an excruciating curve of movement. Luckily for her, the attempt works this time and she gains a few centimeters worth of headway. The woman moans in relief and keeps taking longer breath to calm herself. Her palms are currently practically numb due to the pain. Still, she raises them up one at a time and blows on them. She doesn't think much prior to taking a comparable action once more and rises further up. At last, the woman begins to visualize. She sees the blood prints on the curve beneath. but her body appears to be missing in her vision. She sees her palm and back to the blood print and begins to hyperventilate. She is currently the farthest away from the edge and behind her is an upright wall. Once more it's apparent that she can't scale up in any condition, yet at the time of frenzy, she doesn't legitimize her best course of action and attempts to climb again. She is before long met with the results of her quickness when she slides down a bit. The frenzy causes her to visualize more harshly. She looks beneath and sees the prints of blood develop longer. She again attempts to hold herself up, however stops when she hears a boisterous sound. On looking back at the prints, she sees that two more of them have been added. Presently her main choices are to sit tight for unavoidable death or take action and tumble to her death sooner. In her mind something tells her that if she go on with what she was doing, she will without a doubt make out of it. The illegitimate inspiration demonstrates that her brain is neglecting to snatch the seriousness of the situation. However, in the situation that she's in, she's not supposed to obviously think. The main issue is that her will to endure could make her tumble to her death sooner than she expected, when every other person in her place would have surrendered. At this point, she boldly puts her palm up and blows on it, preparing to slide herself up one more time. In one moment she slides down a couple of centimeters or something like that. The woman is in no situation to lose the headway she has made with much inspiration. Her frenzy begins to develop close by her visualization. She again looks down at the prints for the third time, just to see that they have developed broadly. Out of nowhere, a scream vibrates behind the scenes. The woman analyzes the sound to her death, calling her from the darkness underneath the edge. At this point her palms are annihilated and she barely has any skin left to be scratched. The sky thunders at her distress and ridicules her, but the woman doesn't appear to mind. Soon it begins to rain intensely, adding to her concerns. She's uncertain, assuming the chances are neutralizing her or aiding her. The downpour could end her aggravation by killing her sooner, or it could hurt her more by annihilating her desire for survival. However, for the initial couple of moments she partakes in the droplets heading her face. Regardless of whether it is for a while, she feels settled as though the curve is her home and she has been residing there since forever ago. But her fulfillment doesn't keep going long when the water greases up the surface and slides her down. The woman shuts her eyes and grinds her teeth, actually loaded up with the fire of endurance. She lets out a noisy shout, but it doesn't come close to the roaring of the mists. Then she recollects that she's wearing a chain jewelry that could end up being useful to her hold the curve for longer. She powerfully gets it around her wrist and pulls it off her neck. We see her hand slide down leisurely, even with the chain on. It is muddled. Assuming she endured the occurrence, however, by the situation she was in. The end can be envisioned, not normal for most horror movies that depend on blood fear. This film makes an alarming environment and causes you to feel the loathsomeness and fear inside you with the person. The fans accept that the film is incredible in each sense since it sets off something from bad dreams, makes individuals mindful of the fear that they didn't realize they had. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.